Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no. Over 1 year ago, I wanted to truly create something special for every fan of Freya Skye, which I could only hope at the time was going to touch thousands of hearts. And lo and behold, less than 1 year later, here we are. And I have each and every one of you to thank. Thank you so much for all the love and support you've shown for both this YouTube channel and for being the fans of Freya Skye that you've been, because you forever and always remain by her side. You guys have truly never quit on Freya, and that deserves to be honored. So the best way that I know how to honor somebody is by creating the content that you've known and loved and appreciated for forever, which is precisely why this YouTube channel has become everybody's favorite Descendants and Zombies YouTube channel, quite possibly of all time. We had beat out some of the best Descendants and Zombies Steam YouTube channels for a very long time, with over 3,000 plus people, nearly 4,000 people having hit the subscribe button. And it's never really taken a degree in rocket science to figure out why this has become everybody's favorite Descendants and Zombies YouTube channel. It's all about how I can tell the story about your favorite Descendants characters, your favorite stars, and all these moments they've had the chance to experience and really marvel in because of each and every one of you. Because the reason why these moments are happening, such things as the acoustic shows for Freya Skye, the upcoming Stars Align tour, which kicks off tonight in Portland, Oregon. I want to wish everybody a wonderful time tonight, and I hope you have a wonderful evening attending the first ever show of the 15 cities that are sold out across the United States for Freya Skye. To say you've sold out over 15 cities in 15 venues, and nobody can get a ticket at just 16 years old, how must Freya Skye be feeling? At this moment, Freya Skye must be really excited knowing she's stepping onto the stage for the first time ever on her first ever solo tour, because she had the chance to share the stage this past summer with her fellow Descendants and Zombies cast members, and she really looked like she was having the time of her life. And I wanted to celebrate that for Freya Skye fans, because I know how much these moments meant to each and every one of you. And if I was going to say anything at all about Freya Skye, or having anything to do with Freya Skye at all, it was going to have to be something nice, because I know how critics feel and how they try to make you guys feel. But you know something? What outshines how critics feel about people like Freya and Kylie every single time is your love and support, and how you solely feel about someone like Freya Skye. Because I know you're a girl who is watching this video who probably has never taken off her Freya Skye hoodie, or has collected the Nova Bright doll from the Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires doll lineup. If you are a fan of Freya Skye, where you put all your heart and your dedication into everything you believed about Freya, I want to tell you guys something. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think you should continue to follow your passions, because all I've ever wanted to do for every subscriber who may have ever subscribed here or saw the good or potential in any video that I've ever had the honor to create is to continue to follow your passions. Because when you do follow your passions, you realize your dreams are that much closer to you than you've ever realized. And I think the greatest appreciation that any content creator on YouTube, because there are millions of them, could ever receive is knowing that you've inspired somebody to continue to follow their passions regardless of what they're passionate about, because many of you are passionate about music. Many of you are passionate about drawing and singing and dancing. You're pretty much somebody who just wants to achieve their dream, and I approve of that, and I just wanted to encourage that in every video that I would ever have the honor to create, while telling you the story of Descendants and Zombies from my perspective, because I felt like I was walking through the forest of Aradan and found Seabrook just from out of nowhere. One night I just stumbled across Aradan and Seabrook, and I just remained a citizen of it for forever and always, and I've never left. And in all honesty, guys, I've had the time of my life meeting thousands of people who have loved Descendants and Zombies for pretty much their entire lives, because many of the age demographics of Descendants and Zombies vary. Some of you are 7 years old, some of you are 8, some of you are 9, some of you are as high as 10 years old. And because of that, Descendants and Zombies has represented a very significant part of your lives for forever. And until a YouTube content creator can realize just how important Descendants and Zombies has been to your lives and how much these franchises have meant to you, they can never really create a video that will have a profound impact on your heart, because they themselves never really understand the impact and the impression that Descendants and Zombies has left on your hearts, because it left the exact same impression that it left on all of your hearts on mine. I had the chance to experience everything, from the Worlds Collide tour, to the premiere of all the Descendants movies, to Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires, to Freya Skye's acoustic shows, and now this moment. A moment that we are never, ever going to forget. Many of you had that ticket in hand tonight. You're picking out your outfits. You're so excited for school to end today, for you to get out of school, so you can get in your car, get on the bus, come from wherever you're coming from, to see the Freya Skye Stars Align Kickoff show. And tomorrow morning, there are going to be people, thousands of them, who are going to review this. And in every crowd, especially tonight, there are going to be critics coming by the hundreds to review this, but the thing is, even though a critic's got a ticket in hand, that shouldn't stop you from having the time of your life at this show. All I've ever wanted you to do is go to a Freya Skye show and have the time of your life, because that's what matters. Buy your Freya Skye merch, show love and support for Freya, get her autograph, meet and greet with her, and really have a time that you're never ever going to forget. Because all throughout the summer we have so much to be excited about. Not just the Freya Skye Stars Align tour. We have the upcoming premiere of Descendants Fly Book Wonderland, and a lot of people have really put their heart into what they believe about Descendants. So because you believe in Descendants as much as what you have through the years, because many of you go back to the original trilogy, which first premiered in 2015, and take it from somebody who's been a part of both Descendants and Zombies franchises since at least 10 years, for the part of 10 years, I've experienced everything. And if anything, I've taken away a greater appreciation for the Descendants and Zombies franchises for a very long time. And having the chance to meet each and every one of you, and you sharing your passions with me about Descendants and Zombies, has been an experience that I know that I will forever and always cherish, and I will never ever forget. Because I've always believed that moments like these, certain moments at least, only ever meant to happen once in a person's lifetime, and they have to be cherished. And you guys know what's so important about Descendants and Zombies. It's the value and the appreciation of time. That's what the greater emphasis has always been put on, simply because we never seem to know how much time we have. And I think that the question always comes up in everyday conversations between people, far more than ever given credit, of what we would do with time if we had more of it, because it's so valuable and it's so precious. Because the thing about time is, you see, time always runs out. And I've often asked myself the question, what would I do with time if I had more of it? I'd probably go back in time, surround myself with the people that I've loved for forever, just to have the opportunity to tell them I love them more often, because I never seem to have enough time. Or to go back in time to fix some of the mistakes that I made, because, I mean, let's face it, the reality of life is we're all far from perfect, and we're all created equal. Some people are judged. Some people find it very difficult to find acceptance in a lifetime. And I think you're not the only one who has ever dealt with trying to find acceptance in a world that is very difficult sometimes, more often than enough, to achieve acceptance in. But everybody, I've always believed everybody does have a light. And I know that sounds very reminiscent of Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, but because he was one of my favorite Final Fantasy VII characters of all time, I think I can get away with stealing a quote from him. He says, "Everybody has a light, and everybody eventually does find a light. And trust me, even though it seems like you've never found your light, you will find your light, which comes with a purpose. It may take you longer than others to find it, but everybody does eventually find that light." Kind of like how you guys gave me so much purpose and so much incentive to create all these wonderful Freya Skye videos. You know, one of my favorite Freya Skye music videos of all time was one of the first ones she ever released. It was called The Person I Thought I Knew, because it really allowed me to relate to Freya and how she must have been feeling. Or at least that's what I thought. But as I listened to the song, I realized that it wasn't because of something Freya Skye was having to make sense of in her own life. It was how she was trying to relate to each and every one of you. And every song that would follow, that Freya Skye would release, was trying to relate to each and every one of you, to make you understand why you were feeling the way you were, because of a relationship or a friendship that may have came into your life that kind of just ended. You may have been ghosted. I know the song Silent Treatment received a lot of severity for how it was a song about how somebody had been ghosted by someone they thought they loved with all of their heart. And, you know, I really felt for Freya at the time, but as I listened to the music, I just realized that it was because she was trying to relate to each and every one of you. And as I watched some of your reaction videos, because I watched many of them through the last 3 months, I noticed that a lot of you, because of the situations you were dealing with in your own life, because you may have been ghosted by your boyfriend or a friend that may have been in your life for a certain amount of time, you really felt, your heart was touched. You really felt as if you were part of something special. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, because this happens every day to somebody, even more times than ever given credit for. This happens to somebody every day. I can't even begin to tell you guys how many times I've been ghosted by somebody in my own life because I thought that I loved them with all of my heart. It happened to me more times than I've ever given myself credit for, but that didn't make me any less of a person. It just made me a stronger person in the end. And we're all stronger than ever given credit for, and together we are stronger together. I've always believed that the Descendants of Zombies universe is stronger together because of how they felt about Descendants of Zombies in unison. Because this didn't happen because of one person. It happened because thousands of people truly came together and created something special. You guys are the reason why this is happening for Freya, so your opinions, I can offer you as many opinions as I wish, but your opinions is what it comes down to. And you're the reason why Freya Skye has metamorphosized herself into this superstar, this extraordinary superstar who has achieved more in such a short amount of time than anyone ever has. You know, I remember when Taylor Swift first came into this industry and nobody ever knew quite what to make of her, and she had her debut single Tim McGraw shoot to number one on the country Billboard charts. Then she had this crossover opportunity from country into pop, and she became everybody's favorite superstar. And she still has millions of people who love her with all of their heart. And I really appreciate how people really come together and create this fandom that is truly uncomparable to anything that I've ever experienced in my life. It happened for Taylor Swift. It happened for Ariana Grande. It's happening for Sabrina Carpenter. She was just recently on the Muppet Show Revival. And to be honest with you guys, I really did appreciate Sabrina Carpenter's performance on the Muppet Show because I remember being a fan of the original one when I was younger. There was no feeling greater than seeing Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy and Fozzie share the stage. I was always a huge fan of the Muppets. So seeing Sabrina Carpenter contribute to the Muppet Show Revival was such a huge opportunity for me. And I thought about Freya Skye having opportunities like this. Can you imagine Freya Skye guest starring on the Muppet Show? I would go crazy for Freya Skye. I would be sitting in front of my TV with a glitter sign saying, "I love you, Freya," if she performed on the Muppet Show, because the Muppet Show was such a huge fan favorite of mine when I was a child. I've always loved seeing these celebrities share in so many unforgettable opportunities through the years, and I just hope that Freya Skye gets more opportunities because of the publicity and the recognition that her EP is receiving right now. You guys have really allowed me to be a part of something so special, so when it came to posting these reviews about Freya Skye, all I've ever wanted is to say something nice about somebody that you loved with all of your heart. It is truly undeniable how much each and every one of you love Freya Skye with all of your heart. You're going to be buying the Freya Skye merch tonight. You're going to be taking selfies of yourself in the crowd. You know, I remember some of the very first concerts that I ever had the opportunity to attend. Sum 41, Nickelback, many others through the years, and it was such a phenomenal experience for me growing up in the late 1980s and 1990s, which is a very different time from the times we are experiencing now because the music industry has forever and always evolved. I always remember being stuck in the mosh pit and never being able to find my way out of it. But even with how crazy that was, they were some of the most unforgettable times of my life. I also remember meeting Avril Lavigne and her sister years ago, and that was a huge memorable time for me in my own life. So I can only imagine what it's like for you guys meeting your favorite Descendants and Zombie stars and having the chance for you to tell them how you really feel. And I hope more of you heading up to the Stars Align tour tonight, which kicks off in Portland, Oregon, have more opportunities to really engage with them and really let them know how you feel about them, because your love and support for these stars is truly second to none. There really is no comparison, and if I could go back in time, let's say I was in possession of a pocket watch and could go back in time and relive these experiences, I would take myself up in the opportunity just as fast as I could snap my fingers to experience this all over again. Because moments like these only ever happen every so often in a person's lifetime, and they should be cherished, and they should be celebrated, and they should be commemorated, because in all honesty, we never know if these moments are going to ever happen again. You know, 20 years from now, I just recently rewatched Twilight just last night, because I hadn't watched Twilight in a number of years, and I remember being a huge fan of that story between Edward Cullen and Jacob, of course, Taylor Lautner and Robert Pattinson. And I remember just being so appreciative of how these stars did so much at such young ages. And it was said when the Twilight stars went down in history for being some of the greatest of all time, they would never have to do anything else in their entire lives. They could just live off the success of the Twilight franchise. And they most certainly could have, but they went on to pursue other projects in their lives because they still wanted to establish names for themselves in an industry that was always so unforgiving and really misleading. So the thing is, I really think that these Descendants and Zombie stars could have that same opportunity, because I think that having a chance for Freya Skye to have played Rapunzel, even though that honor was given to Tegan Croft and Milo Manheim, are going to play Rapunzel and Eugene in the upcoming live-action Tangled. And I just want to say that I think Freya Skye would have been a phenomenal choice to play Rapunzel because of just how appreciative she is of life. If anything, for her appreciation of life, she would have been a phenomenal choice to play Rapunzel. And I may be just saying this because I've been a Disney fan for over 30 years. But I think that her appreciation for life, and I can't forget to mention how appreciative Ruby Rose Turner was of the same thing. I think their emotions sometimes have gotten the better of them. But I think if you give them more opportunities to play these characters that they've seen heroes in, because unquestionably Freya Skye's seen a hero in Rapunzel for forever. I mean, then again, who hasn't seen a hero in Rapunzel? I myself have seen a hero in Rapunzel many times through the years, and it had everything to do with how appreciative she was of life. So when you think about somebody who possesses those genuine qualities, Freya Skye has got to be a choice hands down, if not one of the top 5, certainly one of the top 10 or top 3. I'll go as far as to say the top 3 because she's really had a special place in my heart. That is truly undeniable, and it has everything to do with how much each and every one of you have believed in Freya Skye with all of your heart. If not for your love and your dedication to Freya Skye, I don't think Freya Skye would be in the position that she's in. I go all the way back to when she was a star on The Next Step from YTV, and she was just trying to make a name for herself in this industry, because what happens after you star on a show like The Next Step? You're picked up by a talent agency, and they send your audition tapes to companies like Disney and Nickelodeon. And eventually Freya Skye gets picked up by Disney, and she goes nuts. She refers to it as mental, and I love how she uses that in her British accent to refer to every experience that she experiences in her lifetime and goes through as mental. I think more of us should use that word, because in all honesty, this is truly breathtaking what Freya Skye has become, because she knows that she has to be very appreciative of these moments, because she knows these moments will truly never happen again. You think about when the EP Stardust was first released just 2 nights ago, and how excited everybody was about it. People were buying it off Apple Music and YouTube like crazy, like rapid fire, and they couldn't wait to listen to it. And how many of you stayed up all night listening to the first ever EP drop by Freya Skye? If the answer is yes, then I am with you. We're pretty much in the same boat. We're going to sink and we're going to die together. And you know something? If I could die with the Descendants of Zombies niche by my side, then I would feel happy, and I would feel content with my success in my own life, because dying with the Descendants of Zombies niche, there's no greater feeling in the world of appreciation that you could have. And I wish more YouTube creators could realize just how appreciative people are of people like Freya Skye, and all you got to do for somebody who loves Freya Skye with all of their heart is say something nice, because when you win the hearts of every fan of Freya Skye out there, you truly got something to be grateful for. And you had better believe your last time that I am truly grateful for every fan of Freya Skye out there who have been with me from the very beginning, because you guys didn't have to remain with me and loyal to this YouTube channel like you've been and take me seriously as you have, because a lot of people have thought I was pretty crazy over the years. But through sharing my crazy stories with you about how I believe in the chances of a zombie apocalypse ever happening, or how an alien invasion could happen, and the chances of you going out on your lawn and being beamed up by an alien mothership is greater than ever before, that's what's put people's faces, smiles on people's faces, and made people happy and feel more content watching these videos, because they know somebody hosting this show believes in this kind of stuff just as much as what they do. And take it from a guy who may have believed everything that he saw on TV was real. That's what's so fun and to be so appreciative of about life, is because moments like these only ever happen so often. So because moments like these only ever happen so often, they should be cherished and they should be commemorated and never ever forgotten. Because I've always wanted to leave behind a legacy. I had no idea how I was going to leave behind a legacy. All I ever knew was that I wanted to leave behind a legacy and to have been a part of something so special. And I had that opportunity because people felt so passionate about Descendants and Zombies. And that's what made it so special for me, being able to resonate with thousands of people who may love this one song by Freya Skye they've listened to 1,000 times, if never a million. Or they believed in Freya Skye's fashion sense, because she is undeniably gorgeous. She belongs on the red carpet on fashion shows, and believe you me, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that she ends up on the red carpet at fashion shows or even at the Grammy Awards. Because if you can give these opportunities to people like Miley Cyrus for years, you can give that same opportunity to people like Freya Skye, because so many people believe in her and have contributed to something so special. And I can never seem to say enough nice things about these stars, because they deserve to have things said about them that are deserving of them. Because even with how much they have accomplished, there is still so much left for them to accomplish that I have never felt more honored to be a part of. Having the chance to have reviewed Descendants of Zombies has been a profound honor of mine, and one that I know that I will forever and always cherish and never ever forget. Because I think there are far too many people who are going to take it upon themselves to review this Stardust EP in a way that it should never be reviewed. And I will take bullets up against every critic, even if that's what that means, even if I have to, for every Freya Skye fan, because I've been taking bullets for people like Freya for forever, really for years, for pretty much the majority of my career. I took bullets for Miley Cyrus and Selena Gomez years ago, and now I'm taking bullets for Kylie and Freya, because I feel they deserve to have bullets taken for them. And I will go down swinging, even if that's what that means, for every fan of Descendants of Zombies. Thank you so much for having made this your favorite Descendants and Zombies YouTube channel of all time, because it truly means the world to me that I have the chance to resonate with thousands of people who love Freya Skye with all their heart, which is the precise reason why I've chosen to dedicate the entire month of February, calling it Freya February, to every Freya Skye fan. And I will continue to dedicate the entire month of February to Freya Skye fans, because I know how much she means to you, and it's forever and always held a very special place in your heart. So as we continue to honor that and be a part of something so special, if you are a Freya Skye fan who has loved Freya Skye with all of her heart, you are more than welcome to subscribe to this YouTube channel, because I understand you, I get you, and most of all, I appreciate you, and I will appreciate you from now until the end of time. So if you think Jonathan Clarke is this really cool guy, you can hit his subscribe button, you can support him, and you can show your love for Freya Skye in ways that you could never thought imaginable. Thank you so much for having made this your favorite Descendants and Zombies YouTube channel of all time. It's been my honor to create and distribute this content time and time again, time after time, for every Freya Skye fan who may exist out there in this really big universe. Because even with how big this universe seems to be on times, there's always that one girl who just wants to watch a really cool Freya Skye video where a guy understands her for being the Freya Skye fan that she is. Thank you so much for loving Freya Skye with all of your heart and allowing me to have been a part of your life as your voice of Descendants and Zombies. It has been my profound honor, and an honor I will never forget any of you because of. Thank you so much for having made this your favorite Descendants and Zombies YouTube channel of all time, and thank you so much for loving Freya Skye with all of your heart and for watching this video.